called so far, there is a concern of loans and interest. Your Excellency, loans and interest are at the core of this particular model and are at the core of the concern of these particular students. Your Excellency, I was just looking at the statistics, just to be factual in nature, and I was seeing that by 2023, we had around 120,000 defaulters. That's an estimate of 8.5 billion shillings due to these loans and interest. When I was looking at the statistics, in the United States of America, we had a debt crisis of around 1.6 trillion US dollars and 48 million defaulters. So, Your Excellency, the point of concern is, can these loans be made as grants? That's number one, Your Excellency. And why isn't that the case? Because you've already said that you can't make them grants and you can't make them scholarships. So number two, Your Excellency, can we increase the grace period for the repayment of these particular loans? Or number three, Your Excellency, can we reduce the interest at which we pay these particular loans? Your Excellency, that's part of what we discussed in our small baraza, and we hope your indulgence in that particular matter. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mushanga. Maybe I can take another two so that I can answer them. Do we take it from the same side, or maybe we can try another side here?
Your Excellency, I'm Newton Kipleting Lagat, the President Cooperative University of Kenya. I've got one serious problem that it's really affecting the public universities' diploma students. They've been denied scholarship. They've been denied HEF, that is higher education funds. And to add on that, they do not qualify for help. That means they are going to educate themselves when taking their diplomas. It does not end there. When they graduate from diploma, they transit to degree. For you to qualify for scholarship or HEF, you must have transited from high school or secondary school to a campus through COOPs. Diploma students are not in COOPs. They've already gone. So that means you've educated yourself in your diploma. You're again going to educate yourself when taking your degree. The new funding model has not addressed that. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe we can take one from this side. A lady for a change, maybe.
Thank you. Your Excellency, my name is Mogesi Maroa. I'm a concerned citizen, a youth leader from Kuria, Migori County, and the president of Mount Kenya University Parklands Law Campus. Your Excellency, you've said time and again that this new funding model is student-based. Well, my question is, why is it that students from private universities are only given loans as opposed to scholarships, just like it is in public universities, yet these students are all from taxpayers of this country? Thank you.
Final one from here.
Thank you so much, His Excellency. My name is Bonaya Rova from Kenyatta University, a sixth-year architect student, anticipating graduation in December. At the preamble of your speech, you began by denoting that education is an equalizer. Therefore, I have two questions. One, if indeed education is an equalizer, how will this new funding model assist those persons living with disability? Because you do believe disability is not inability. My second question goes to, I'm from Tana River County, so we are believed to be those that come from marginalized areas of this country. So, you've spoken about cybers. In my local area, the next cyber, you normally travel close to about 46 kilometers. I believe you've been there. Ama namna gani? So mine is to ask on these persons with, that live in marginalized areas if they will be able to access internet and all this connectivity for them to be able to be put along this new funding model. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Maybe I should answer those questions first. Maybe starting with Bonaya. Bonaya, first, congratulations. 60 years is quite something, you know, and I wish you well. Students who live with disability, as I have said, in this model, we have actually said that those students living with disability, they automatically qualify for Band 1. They get 95% funding, both scholarship and loan. 80% loan, 15% scholarship. Help me, where is the PS? It is Band 1, again, so that I don't...
Your Excellency, 95% government support,
Yes.
70% scholarships, and 25% loan.
Okay, 70% scholarship and 25% loan, correct. So those are the students, and the parents only pay 5%. In the old model, they were paying 20%. Was what was outlined. Secondly, you are aware that people living with severe disability, we have expanded the numbers of citizens who now qualify for cash transfer. We had 1.2 million citizens. We've now expanded that to 1.7 million citizens. We just recruited another 500,000 aged orphans and people living with disability for us to be able to look after the vulnerable. Because as a society, we have to look out for the people who are vulnerable, especially those who live with disability. Number two, you asked me about cyber. It is true. I was in Tana River actually about a month and a half ago. And I can confirm that the distances are far. But the good news is this. If you speak to your member of parliament, we have already agreed with them that they will set up an ICT hub in every ward in Kenya. We have changed the law. The CDF law that was used for just building schools, we changed the law. I signed the law into effect, and now we are using CDF to build an ICT hub in every ward for 3 reasons. Reason number 1 is to make sure that ICT infrastructure is available to citizens, including students. Number 2 is because we have a big program on digital jobs. And number 3, we want to encourage digital commerce, and we want government services to be available on that digital space, and therefore citizens don't have to come to Nairobi or to go to other areas. They can access government services from those ICT hubs. So we have a plan around the ICT hubs. I got a brief yesterday. We are now delivering we are now delivering internet using Kenya Power lines. It's easier. So every place where we will have a Kenya Power line, it will be possible to access the internet. We have already rolled out that program. Mugesi Maroa, sorry if I get your number right. You have a very valid point that private universities have students whose parents are taxpayers. That's correct. Public universities are run using public funds. We sponsor, as government of Kenya, public universities. Private universities have sponsors. They have foundations. They are run by people who have networks of raising funds, either using foundations or other means, which sometimes as government we don't have. And because we value the fact that even those in private universities are also Kenyan students and their parents are taxpayers, that is why we haven't shut the door on them. We have said we are going to make public resources available to those students as loans, the same way we are making public resources as loans available to students in public universities. The only reason, Mogesi, why we, in this model, we have said we cannot provide for scholarship is because in the past, we said we are going to give them scholarship. And because we didn't have the money, we didn't. And we put many of those private universities in a lot of trouble. In fact, one public university closed down because we took students to them. They trained the students. We owe them money. They couldn't pay their staff. They couldn't pay. They closed down. So it is better we keep our word. It is better for us to say, this is the much we can do, rather than for us to say we can do so much. Today we have a debt of about 51 billion shillings owed to our private universities. It is a debt that we must pay, but it is unfair for us to continue to accumulate debt. It is better we tell them, for the moment, we cannot afford. But in the go to university than to go to a Tibet institution. That was the case. Because we didn't consider properly Tibet. And it is one challenge I had to deal with. Because for a very long time, as a country, we considered Tibet as a place for students who are failures, for lack of a better word. And that was a very wrong classification. And that is why when I became Minister for Higher Education, I brought a very big conversation. In fact, it was a very controversial conversation. I remember one Vice Chancellor of Moi University then, Professor Ogot, saying that the minister is causing confusion because this Tibet thing is not the thing to do. But the reality is, whether you go to Germany, whether you go to Australia, many of their students go to Tibet institutions. There is a lot of value in us balancing our education between knowledge on one end and competence and skills on another end. And therefore, it is the reason why I pushed very hard. When I was minister in 2009, 2010, there were only maybe 20,000 students in our TVETs. I started the first 30 TVET institutions. Today, I am very happy that we have 720,000 students in Tibet from 20,000. And we have made huge progress. And we have closed many skills gap that existed. So I quite agree with you that we must not discriminate. It is the reason why in this funding model, we have enhanced scholarship and loans for our Tibet students, and also we have maintained their upkeep, just the same way we are doing for our universities. As for your case, when universities are being considered, they are being considered to provide university degrees. We were trying to discourage universities from also doubling up and doing diploma courses, because there are many institutions now. We have close to 250 Tibet institutions that can offer diploma courses. But the saving grace is that if you are a diploma student and you join a university after your diploma, you join as a second year, I think, you qualify for Higher Education Loans Board from there. And those are the instructions that we have given to the Higher Education Loans Board. Can we have a confirmation from you, gentlemen, that that is the case? I want you to answer that, gentleman.
That is the case, Your Excellency. They are funded like any other student. When they join university for degrees.
Finally, Evans, my good friend Evans Mushanga. Your issue is that the loans and the default. You know, the loan issue is not, as I told you earlier, is not a new phenomenon. All of us, I can tell you, any student who has gone through university, unless their parents paid the full fee, they have a loan. And I don't think there is any crime in having a loan. And I don't think there is any crime if you have a loan and you genuinely don't have the money to pay for it. I am agreeable that we must look into the subject of a grace period, especially to consider that no student should be asked to pay until they have a job. I am agreeable to that. Because you can't ask a person who is tamarking to pay. Because, I mean, you'd just be asking the impossible. I didn't pay myself until I got a job.